Hi, I'm Craig Anderton, and welcome again to the Pro Audio and Radio Tech Summit. As you know, it's been quite a year. While it seems there's finally a chance to break COVID's evil spell, as you also know, the world has changed, and many of those changes are here to stay, even when this particular pandemic is a memory. Some of the biggest changes involve collaboration, so let's zoom in on collaboration among people, in technology, and in distribution, while we consider what's next. The pandemic has accelerated the development of collaborative tools. Zoom, WebEx, and similar web conferencing hosts have been around for years, but they always ran a poor second to in-person meetings and business trips. Opportunities for collaboration go way beyond web conferencing. Also, current conferencing models have limitations. They don't have your branding, your desired workflow, and they make users jump through hoops, like go out of a program to a browser or download constant updates. Imagine if these kinds of collaborative tools were built into any application program. For example, you could manage a theatrical production from within the program that controls your lighting. We're already seeing the start of this. Horn, which coined the term integrated telepresence, addresses vertical markets. For example, the MIDI Association communicates through Horn, which includes MIDI in and out, something you'll never see in Zoom. The first time I played a synthesizer in New Zealand from a MIDI controller in Nashville was mind-boggling. First, the latency was very low compared to audio. But second, I realized this would open up new, collaborative ways of doing music education, as well as artist-to-artist collaboration that are not possible with current web conferencing tools. Another example is PreSonus Sphere, which includes collaboration options for other Studio One users. It integrates chat into a collaborative workspace, as well as drag-and-drop cloud storage. There's no going to Dropbox or sending text messages to break the collaborative flow. The next step beyond an integrated presence is virtual and mixed reality. Now, before you remind me that virtual reality hasn't gotten traction because consumers don't want to feel like they're trapped inside a Commodore 64, hear me out. For business, the ability to holo-teleport in 3D using something like a HoloLens would be invaluable for evaluating something like a production prototype or packaging design. But imagine if you could check out every venue on a tour stop in advance to a very detailed level. We've already seen holograms used in music festivals, but they're not interactive. I'm pretty sure consumers would love to be able to drop in virtually on their favorite band's recording sessions. Microsoft's Mesh is working toward this goal. It isn't there yet, but it's only a matter of time before they or Google or maybe some startup pulls it off. It's possible that this time around business, not consumers, will drive VR. And once that happens, it will trickle down eventually to the consumer level and open up opportunities for all of us. Over the years, many people have tried to set up sites for musical collaboration, only to see them fail. A big part of the reason is that the bandwidth just wasn't there. DigitalMusician.net had the brilliant idea of a plugin that could insert in any digital audio workstation and provide audio and video streams for collaboration. But when it was introduced, the experience was more like looking at really bad photos that changed every few seconds. The company closed its doors in 2018, but I can't help but wonder what would have happened if it could have held on just a couple more years and been another one of those companies that got tailwinds from a pandemic. The same goes for Mix Match Music, JamNow, Tune Rooms, Umix, WeMix, JamBlue, My Online Band, Virtual Recording Studio, and others. Finally, though, online collaboration is taking off. We alluded to PreSonus Sphere and its collaboration tools, but Splice, although known more for sounds and plugins, also provides project backup with versioning and collaboration. For Pro Tools, there's Avid's cloud collaboration. But what's also interesting is the intersection of music making and social media with programs like Soundstorming and Tracked. Mobile-friendly and simplified, we'll see whether or not they become the gateway drug for a lifetime of music making. Some companies are already moving in that direction. BandLab is a music meets social media app with 29 million registered users, and many people wondered why they bought Cakewalk. However, with integration between BandLab and Cakewalk now in place, it's clear that BandLab wants a music upgrade path, much like how GarageBand is the gateway to Logic Pro. When people said synthesizers would replace musicians, my standard reply was, who do you think plays them? Accountants? And now some engineers wonder whether they're going to be replaced by machine learning, but that process may become our assistant, not our master. Machine learning is a machine's ability to analyze data, learn from it, and derive outcomes based on what it learns. Consider this. You've recorded and edited narration for a commercial, and the talent is on vacation in parts unknown, but the client decides that King Rex dog food needs to be changed to King Canine dog food. Technologies like WaveNet and Adobe's research prototype Voco combine AI with text-to-speech. So you'd type canine, the program would look through the existing audio takes, find the phonemes needed to create canine, and substitute them seamlessly for Rex. Being able to analyze massive amounts of data and create speech that never existed before, not just edit existing speech, is well suited to AI that has been trained to recognize phonemes and the sounds that make up words. Or consider vocal comping. AI could analyze the various comps and reject sections you've rejected in the past because of pitch issues, intelligibility, sections that aren't the same as the other comps, and so on. Then you wouldn't have to waste time going through comps that clearly you wouldn't use. In this case, machine learning doesn't replace us, but makes our tasks easier. As it assimilates more data about the kind of takes you reject, it can improve its decisions in the future. Or how about a finish project command for a DAW? It would back up your project to the cloud and local storage, optionally discard audio not used in the project, test levels for streaming services to prevent distortion when transcoding, adjust levels to a desired LUFS, and put everything in the same folder. Voice recognition is another way we can communicate with machines. Early speech recognition was flawed, but it's become quite good. Hey Siri, how accurate is speech recognition?
Okay, I found this on the web for how accurate is speech recognition. Check it out.
There's no need to take the time to move a mouse when speech recognition could handle many motions we do in the studio, like insert Arturia CS80 synthesizer, or add VCA channel for channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Software that incorporates machine learning is already here. iZotope's Master Assistant analyzes music, applies dynamic EQ to frequencies that clash, and edits dynamics to reach your desired target LUFS level. The company emphasizes this isn't about replacing mastering, but instead to take care of obvious issues automatically so you can proceed immediately to dealing with details. MIDI 2.0's breakthrough is machine-to-machine collaboration. MIDI 1.0 was a monologue. A machine sent data to another machine. MIDI 2.0 is a dialogue. A device can query if another device speaks MIDI 2.0. If not, then it speaks MIDI 1.0. But if the other device speaks MIDI 2.0, they can tell each other about their capabilities. For example, a general-purpose control surface can ask a MIDI 2.0 device what it is. If it's a mixer, the control surface configures itself to control faders, panning, mute, solo, and so on. But if it's a lighting controller, then the control surface configures itself to control dimming, motion, scene changes, and the like. What's held back controller support is that the controller had to send a very specific set of messages to a device, and those messages didn't necessarily relate to anything else. With MIDI 2.0, the device being controlled tells the controller what kind of messages it wants to receive. The MIDI 2.0 spec also emphasizes collaboration among different disciplines. Few people realize that MIDI has controlled Broadway plays like Miss Saigon and even controls the fountains at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. MIDI 2.0 opens up collaborative possibilities for art installations, concerts, lighting, and more. Networking is all about collaboration. For example, Dante breaks down the walls between Studio A and Studio B. Data can be shuttled back and forth rapidly so that the people creating sound for post-production can also see the dialogue edits. For live events, Dante can be like the ultimate intercom. Communications have also become increasingly important for productions at houses of worship and team offsites for companies. Broadcasting can be even more of a challenge because those coordinating the live shoot, network feed, and production control rooms all need to be in constant contact. Or consider an awards show. People sequestered in the green room can be networked to the director, who's also networked to the people doing lighting and mixing, the stage manager, the security personnel, and various stagehands. Audio networking is the solution that can keep everyone on the same page and on the same stage. What's next in collaboration isn't just about collaboration among humans, but also collaboration among machines to make this possible. In the music industry, democratization has been unfolding for decades. Aside from talent and discipline, the only barrier to making and recording music today is having a computer. Compare this to when anyone wanting to get their music into the world had to pay hourly rates in a recording studio, deal with a record company, and hope the record company was behind what you did. For making and distributing music and connecting with audiences, we're seeing the end of the gatekeepers. Spotify and other streaming services bypass the traditional record company, so artists go directly from creation to distribution. People who want to do their own broadcast bypass radio stations and podcast with aggregators or on their own sites. Want to get on TV? Upload a video to your YouTube channel and see the comments from your fans so you can interact with them. You don't need publishers to market music or books. You can self-publish, put out what you make online, and promote what you do through social media. When your friends and fans hit the like button or share a link, they're collaborating with you. They're your global promotion department. But it's early days because the 800-pound gorilla in the room is blockchain. People think of blockchain and Bitcoin as one and the same, but don't. Blockchain is a far-reaching, deep technology, while Bitcoin is just one semi-sketchy application. 3 years ago, I gave a seminar on the future of music and said that artists would use blockchain to create their own currencies. Well, unless you've been stuck in quarantine on a desert island, you've heard about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, where digital artwork has been selling for insane amounts of money. Although it does have a future, it's currently in the Beanie Babies or Dutch Tulip Mania stage. Blockchain is a technology that places value on digital content and, more importantly, authenticates it. The information itself is decentralized and transactions are conducted person to person. You can hack a centralized entity like Wells Fargo, but blockchains are virtually impossible to hack until they leave the system. Artists can use blockchain essentially to sell stock in themselves. Suppose Taylor Swift wants to control how her business relates to her fans. She could start a currency called the Swift Coin. She sells 100,000 tokens to her fans for $20 each, which entitles them to see her next 2 streaming concerts. $2 million isn't bad, but it's kind of like an initial public offering because here's where it gets interesting. These digital tickets are authenticated, and remember, the cost of goods is all about supply and demand. Taylor Swift has a lot more than 100,000 fans, so some of those fans might sell their authentic Swift coin for $50 to someone who missed out on the first 100,000 tokens. The seller gets a cut of the profit, and so does Taylor Swift, because the purchase price, owner, selling price, new owner, and distribution of profits is baked into the blockchain ledger. Now suppose the first concert was a huge success. The day before the second concert, people are willing to pay up to $300 for a Swift coin. It's like her stock went up. But if someone bought 100 Swift coins early on as an investment, and fans reacted negatively to her saying she's only going to be doing death metal from now on, that Swift coin might end up being worth only 10 cents, which is what they'd get if they wanted to cash it in for dollars. Someone might try to game the system by buying up all the Swift coins for something they thought was going to be huge and hope to scalp people. But maybe not with blockchain. Taylor could decide that was wrong, issue new Swift coins only for people who are in her fan club, and undercut the scalpers. A platform designed to handle blockchain transactions could also build in a finder's fee, so that if someone made someone else aware of your blockchained music and the other person bought it, there would be a finder's fee for the person who promoted your blockchain. Now your fans are collaborating on your promotion. But it's not just about blockchain. Entities like Patreon and Bandcamp provide a direct collaboration between fan and artist. SoundCloud has changed its payment model to be more favorable to individual artists if their music attracts advertisers. And advertisers realize that podcasts can reach highly targeted audiences, while large companies are becoming like patrons of the arts if they license your music. The bottom line? No more gatekeepers between fans and artists. This may mean the end of the days where you could make a fortune as a musician because of limited supply and huge demand. But it also might become easier than ever to make a living if you can find and hold on to a bunch of loyal fans who are loyal because they feel like they're collaborators in your success. After a year of being isolated because of the pandemic, the world will reboot over the next 12 months. Some aspects will be familiar, some unusual, but it has never been more important to anticipate and act on the changes because they'll be coming fast and furious. We're like surfers scanning the horizon for the next waves to catch. When they appear, we want to catch them just before they crest and ride them for all they're worth. Thanks for listening and enjoy the summit.